President Trump spent much of today trying to tamp down a new furor over hush money paid to a porn star. His message, nothing to see here. The story hasn't changed, despite what his lawyer said. White House correspondent Yamiche Alcindor begins our coverage.
It's actually very simple, but there has been a lot of misinformation, really.
Outside the White House this morning, the president made a point of stopping to talk about the storm stirred up by his new personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani.
He started yesterday. He'll get his facts straight. He's a great guy.
At issue, a $130,000 payment before the 2016 election from longtime Trump attorney Michael Cohen to the porn star known as Stormy Daniels. She claims she had an affair with Mr. Trump in 2006. On Wednesday night, Giuliani disclosed for the first time that the president personally reimbursed Cohen.
That was money that was paid by his lawyer, the way I would do out of his law firm funds or whatever funds, doesn't matter. The president reimbursed that over a period of several months.
Giuliani insisted Mr. Trump was unaware of the full details of the arrangement until recently.
When did you find out?
Today, the president would not say when he learned of the details or exactly when he reimbursed Cohen, who's now under federal investigation.
You're going to find out because, we're going to give a full list and people know, and virtually everything said has been said incorrectly.
Later, Giuliani released a statement intended to clarify his earlier comments. Giuliani said his claims that the president learned of the payments recently were based on Giuliani's understanding and not that of the president's. But he did not say when the president learned of the payoff to Stormy Daniels or when Cohen was reimbursed. Last month on Air Force One, Mr. Trump denied knowing about the Stormy Daniels payment or where Cohen got the money.
No, I don't know.
Today, as he boarded the presidential plane for Dallas, he denied that he had lied.
We're not changing any stories. All I'm telling you is that this country is right now running so smooth. And to be bringing up that kind of crap and to be bringing up witch hunts all the time, that's all you want to talk about.
Mr. Trump also said today his lawyers have advised him against an interview with special counsel Robert Mueller in the Russia probe.
Nobody wants to speak more than me. In fact, against my lawyers, because most lawyers, they never speak on anything. I would love to speak. If I thought it was fair, I would override my lawyers.
Hours later, the president moved on to gun policy at the National Rifle Association's annual meeting.
Your Second Amendment rights are under siege, but they will never, ever be under siege as long as I'm your president.
It was Mr. Trump's fourth consecutive NRA convention, and it followed February's mass shooting that killed 17 people at a high school in Parkland, Florida.
We're going to be very strong on background checks.
Initially, the president vowed new action on national gun laws, but he has since pulled back. In that almost hour-long speech, President Trump made no mention of his past support for some gun law changes. He did not talk about raising the age of purchase for certain firearms. He also didn't mention expanding background checks. John, leaving out some of these efforts is seen by some as caving into the NRA's pressure.
And these were all things that he had supported, the NRA had opposed. Did any of his opposition to NRA positions or differences with the NRA show up in that speech today?
Not at all. This was really a campaign-style speech. He spoke a little bit about guns, but a lot about the midterms. He talked about the fact that Republicans really need to show out for these elections. He seems really concerned about the fact that Republicans need to win in these states. He also said, though, that he did sign a $2 million bill for school funding. He talked a little bit about the changes that he made in background checks, but these are things that the NRA actually supported. So he was not trying at all pick a fight with the NRA. And it made me think about this exchange that I had with a deputy press secretary. During the briefing, I asked, is the president gonna back candidates if they go up against the NRA and want stronger gun reform? And that person said, yes, the president's gonna cover them. This speech says otherwise.
And let's go back to that little exchange on the White House lawn. He said Rudy Giuliani will get his facts straight. Giuliani came out with the clarification. What are the people inside the White House telling you? What's going on here?
My sources tell me that the president was not throwing Rudy Giuliani under the bus per se. He said that he was really trying to clarify the timing of this. And Giuliani's statement, if you read it really closely, it's about timing and it's about campaign finance laws. Rudy Giuliani wants to make sure that he backtracks on the idea of when President Trump learned about the payment. He said this week that President Trump learned about the reimbursement for Stormy Daniels to Michael Cohen recently, and now Rudy Giuliani is essentially leaving that open and letting it be vague. But I should say that one of the first lines of this of those clarification statements stood out to me. It said, and I'll read: "There is no campaign violation." That's really important because that assertion has not been made. Stormy Daniels' lawyer says that the president was trying to influence the 2016 election with this payment to Stormy Daniels. So that's still unsettled, but Rudy Giuliani wants to make it sure that at least his boss thinks that that's clear.
And then when the president got to Joint Base Andrews, before he got into Air Force One, there was an interesting scene with John Kelly. What happened?
Well, the president walked out, the chief of staff. This is, of course, someone who the reports say called the president an idiot. And he said, look, John Kelly's doing a fantastic job. And then John Kelly praised the president. Listen to what he had to say.
I would just say it's an absolute privilege to work for a president that has gotten the economy going. We're about to have a breakthrough, I believe, on North Korea. The jobs report today, I mean, everything is going phenomenally well, attacking the opioid crisis. It's nothing less than brilliant what's been accomplished in 15 months, I believe.
Now, this kind of praise is what Donald Trump likes to see. He loves to hear people talk about how great the country is going. So I think this was John Kelly essentially saying, I want to keep my job, and Mr. President, here's all the great things that I can say about you today.
White House correspondent Yamiche Alcindor, thanks so much.